On the morning of April 18, 2016, the quiet town of Midlothian, Texas, woke up to a mystery that still sends chills through true crime investigators across America. Inside the dark hallways of Creekside Church of Christ, beneath the faint glow of emergency lights and the echo of thunder outside, a figure dressed in tactical is ready to speak.
Police-style gear wandered through empty corridors, carrying a hammer and moving with an eerie calmness that looked less like the
burglary and more like something out of a horror film. That figure would soon become one of the most
haunting unidentified suspects ever captured on surveillance footage. And before the sun fully rose over Texas, beloved fitness instructor
and a mother of 3 would later be found unresponsive inside the church where she had arrived early that morning
to teach a pre-dawn workout class. What made the case terrifying was not just the violence of the murder,
but the unsettling surveillance footage investigators released to the public. The video showed the suspect roaming the church hallways
in full SWAT-style tactical gear, casually opening doors, peering into rooms, and smashing windows with a hammer, while appearing
completely unconcerned about being seen on camera. The footage spread across the internet like wildfire because the suspect's walk
was bizarre, almost unnatural, with a strange gait that immediately triggered endless speculation. Was it a man? A woman?
Someone injured? Someone disguising themselves intentionally? Every movement became a clue, every frame became a puzzle, and nearly a decade
later, despite nationwide attention, the killer has never been officially identified. The mystery begins just after midnight when severe storms
rolled through Ellis County, Texas. Rain hammered the streets while most residents slept, unaware that one of America's strangest
murder cases was unfolding. Around 2 a.m., surveillance cameras inside Creekside Church captured the first appearance of the suspect.
Dressed head to toe in black tactical gear, complete with helmet, gloves, shin guards, and the word police on the vest.
The person wandered through the church, carrying what appeared to be a hammer or pry tool. They moved slowly,
methodically, and with eerie confidence. At times, they appeared to be searching for something. At other moments, they simply
stood motionless in silence. The atmosphere of the footage was deeply disturbing because there was no panic, no rush,
no obvious fear of being caught. The suspect casually opened doors and damaged property while lightning flashed outside the building. Investigators later said there were signs of forced entry, but the behavior seen on camera raised difficult questions. Was this truly a burglary? If so, why move so slowly? Why spend so much time wandering hallways instead of
stealing valuables? Some investigators began to suspect the church break-in may have been staged to disguise a targeted killing.
Then, shortly before 5 a.m., Missy Bevers arrived at the church to prepare for her Camp Gladiator fitness class.
She was known for her energy, optimism, and dedication. Friends described her as deeply motivated and passionate about helping others.
Others achieve fitness goals. Because storms were howling the area that morning, she had moved the workout indoors to
the church instead of the parking lot. That decision may have unknowingly placed her directly in the path of
a killer already waiting inside. Sometime after arriving, Missy encountered the intruder. What happened next remains one of the
darkest unanswered questions in Texas true crime history. Authorities believe a violent confrontation occurred inside the church. When participants
began arriving for the 5 a.m. class, they discovered a horrifying scene. Missy Bevers was dead from multiple puncture
wounds to the head and chest. The exact murder weapon has never been publicly confirmed, though investigators believe tools that
carried by the suspect may have been used. Panic spread quickly through the community. Parents feared a random killer.
Was loose. Residents locked doors. Rumors exploded across social media. But it was the release of the CCTV footage
that transformed the case into a nationwide obsession. Millions watched the grainy surveillance clips trying to identify the killer.
From the unusual walk alone, internet detectives replayed the footage endlessly, analyzing every step frame by frame. Some believed the suspect
had a limp caused by injury. Others thought the walk suggested the person was female. Certain viewers focused on the feet turning outward. Others examined the height and proportions. Former law enforcement officers weighed in, debating whether the tactical gear looked authentic or cheaply assembled. The disguise itself became part of the mystery. Why wear full police style?
Equipment unless the goal was concealment or intimidation? Investigators revealed the tactical clothing appeared oversized, making identification even harder.
The suspect's face was completely hidden. Their body shape was obscured. Even their voice was absent because the surveillance
System recorded no audio. It was like chasing a ghost hidden inside armor. As detectives dug into Missy Bevers'
personal life, the case became even more complicated. Investigators reportedly examined relationships, financial issues, phone records, and social connections.
attention quickly turned toward people close to Missy, especially because many investigators believed the murder appeared personal rather than.
Rumors spread online at an uncontrollable pace. Some speculated about strained relationships. Others focused on possible affairs or jealousy. Entire online communities formed around the mystery, dissecting timelines and social media posts. Yet despite years of scrutiny, no evidence publicly linked any suspect strongly enough for an arrest. One of the most discussed aspects of the
investigation involved a vehicle seen near the church around the time of the murder. Surveillance cameras captured a light-colored
Nissan Altima or similar sedan driving through the parking lot during the early morning hours. Police urged the public to help identify the driver, believing the person may have witnessed something critical or possibly been connected to the car crime itself. But the vehicle was never conclusively tied to the killer. Then there was the strange timing. The
suspect had entered the church long before Missy arrived, suggesting either incredible coincidence or deliberate planning. Did the killer
know her schedule? Did they know the class had been moved indoors because of the weather? Or had they been stalking her for weeks? Investigators never publicly answered those questions. The deeper people looked into the CCTV footage, the stranger it became. The suspect didn't appear highly skilled or physically aggressive while wandering the halls. In fact,
some observers thought the person seemed almost clumsy. They casually tapped at doors and windows with tools, sometimes appearing
distracted. This led to theories that the suspect was intentionally trying to waste time while waiting for Missy to
arrive. Others believed the strange movements were deliberate attempts to disguise gender or identity. Former FBI profilers and body
language experts discussed the case in documentaries and podcasts, each offering conflicting opinions. Some believed the killer was familiar
with the church layout. Others argued the wandering suggested unfamiliarity. Every interpretation opened new questions but produced no answers.
Public fascination with the case only intensified because the footage felt cinematic and terrifyingly real at the same time. Unlike many unsolved murders where the suspect remains unseen, Americans could literally watch the killer moving through dark hallways before the crime occurred. It created a uniquely disturbing experience. The audience wasn't imagining a faceless criminal, they were watching one. Yet even with video evidence, nobody could identify the person with certainty. The tactical disguise had transformed the suspect into something almost inhuman, a faceless silhouette drifting through shadows. Years passed, but the investigation never fully
cooled. Detectives pursued hundreds of leads. Forensic evidence was reportedly collected from the scene, though authorities revealed very little.
Publicly, investigators interviewed friends, family members, church staff, and fitness clients. Tips flooded in from across the country. People believed they recognized the suspect's walk. Others thought they identified the tactical gear. At one point, attention focused. Voiceover on similarities between the suspect's gait and specific individuals connected to the victim. But again, no arrest came. The
lack of resolution only deepened public obsession. The case became a fixture in true crime media, featured in documentaries,
podcasts, YouTube investigations, and national television specials. Online forums transformed into digital war rooms where amateur detectives debated every
clue. One major reason the mystery endured was because nearly everyone who watched the CCTV footage developed their own
theory. Some believed the killer was male wearing oversized gear to appear bulkier. Others were convinced the suspect was female based on hip movement and stride. Certain analysts focused on the lower leg motion, arguing it resembled someone recovering from surgery or chronic injury. Even experts disagreed. Investigators themselves admitted determining gender from gait alone was unreliable. Another
haunting detail involved the suspect's apparent comfort inside the church. They never seemed startled by alarms or cameras.
Calmness suggested confidence. Some theorized the killer expected nobody to arrive until much later and was surprised by Missy's early presence. Others believed the killer intentionally waited for her. If the murder was targeted, then the disguise may have been specifically designed to prevent recognition by someone who knew the attacker personally. That theory terrified many observers
because it implied careful planning and emotional motive rather than random violence. Then came the internet theories, some plausible,
and others wildly speculative. People analyzed Facebook posts, timestamps, phone pings, and personal relationships. Some theories centered around romantic
jealousy. Others proposed revenge, financial disputes, or personal grudges. Certain amateur investigators became so consumed by the mystery that
they traveled to Midlothian themselves, retracing Missy's final movements and filming inside areas surrounding the church. The case blurred
the line between investigation and obsession. Meanwhile, the victim's family endured years of public scrutiny while still mourning an
unimaginable loss. Friends describe Missy Bevers as kind, energetic, and deeply loved by her community. She wasn't a celebrity or public official. She was a mother, wife, fitness coach, and friend whose life ended violently in a place meant to provide peace and safety. That contrast made the case emotionally devastating. A church before dawn during a
thunderstorm already feels eerie. Add a killer dressed like a tactical officer roaming silent hallways, and the story becomes
almost surreal. But unlike horror movies, there was no ending, no final reveal, no captured villain, only unanswered questions. Investigators continued releasing occasional updates over the years, insisting the case remained active. Authorities stated they believed someone out there knew the killer's identity. Rewards were offered. New forensic technologies were explored. Detectives revisited evidence, hoping advances in the
DNA analysis or digital enhancement could finally break the mystery open. Yet the central image of the case remained
unchanged: the surveillance footage. It became one of the most recognizable pieces of true crime video in America. The suspect's slow movements through dimly lit corridors became permanently etched into the minds of viewers. Some people admitted they couldn't sleep after watching it. Others described the footage as more disturbing than graphic crime scene photos because of
how ordinary and calm the suspect appeared before committing murder. Evil did not appear chaotic or monstrous. It appeared
patient, quiet, controlled. The church itself eventually became permanently linked to the crime in the public imagination. Even people
who never followed true crime recognized the footage once shown clips online or on television. It joined the ranks
of America's most haunting unsolved mysteries, alongside cases where a single photograph or video defined the entire investigation.
Unlike blurry glimpses or distant shadows, this footage gave viewers extended time to study the suspect. And somehow, despite
all that visibility, identification remained impossible. That contradiction made the mystery deeply unsettling. In most people's minds, video evidence
should solve crimes. But the Missy Bevers case exposed the terrifying limits of surveillance. Cameras recorded the killer, but they
did not reveal the person underneath. As years turned into nearly a decade, theories continued evolving. Some investigators
suggested the killer may have had military or law enforcement familiarity due to the tactical appearance. Others rejected that
idea entirely, arguing the gear looked more costume-like than professional. Some believed the suspect intentionally exaggerated movements to throw
off investigators. Certain experts even theorized the killer may have worn boots several sizes too large to alter their
walk. Every possibility sounded believable because the footage itself was so strange. The investigation also faced the challenge of the public misinformation. Viral internet theories often spread faster than verified evidence. Innocent individuals found themselves accused online based on vague similarities in walking style or body shape. Detectives repeatedly warned against jumping to conclusions. But once a case
captures national fascination, controlling speculation becomes nearly impossible. People want answers, and when answers don't come, they begin constructing
their own. One of the most chilling realities about the case is the possibility that the killer may have
followed public coverage from the very beginning, watching millions analyze their movements while remaining hidden in plain sight. Imagine
seeing your own disguised figure played repeatedly on national television while investigators struggle to identify you. That idea transformed
the case into psychological horror. Somewhere, perhaps, the person behind the mask knew exactly how close or far investigators
truly were. Some criminologists believe the murder displayed signs of personal rage due to the brutality involved. Others argued
the tactical disguise indicated emotional detachment and premeditation. The truth may lie somewhere between.
Erupted into explosive violence. Yet without a confession, arrest, or definitive forensic breakthrough, the public can only speculate. Throughout
all the theories and media attention, the core tragedy remained the loss of Missy Bevers herself. Friends remembered her.
With a motivational spirit and commitment to helping others improve their lives, Camp Gladiator members described her as inspiring and uplifting.
She woke before dawn to lead fitness classes while balancing motherhood and family life. The contrast between that ordinary
dedication and the horrifying circumstances of her death is what continues haunting America. Because this was not a crime committed in some hidden alleyway or dangerous neighborhood. It happened inside a church before sunrise while a woman prepared to teach an exercise class. The setting shattered assumptions about safety. It reminded people that violence sometimes appears where all
least expected. Even today, investigators maintain that the case is solvable. They continue encouraging anyone with information to come.
Modern forensic techniques continue evolving, giving hope that overlooked evidence could eventually expose the killer. Cases once thought
impossible have been solved decades later through DNA breakthroughs and renewed investigative focus. But until that day comes,
the surveillance footage remains frozen on time. A shadowy figure, dressed in tactical gear, wandering silently through church hallway.
Before murder, every step echoes with unanswered questions. Who was beneath the helmet? Why target Missy Bevers? Was the
killer someone she trusted? Someone who hated her? Someone hiding in her own community? Or was the truth even
stranger than anyone imagined? Those questions continue haunting investigators, journalists, and millions of viewers who have watched the footage and
searching for clues. In the end, the Missy Bevers murder became more than just another unsolved homicide. It became
a symbol of modern mystery in the surveillance age. A case where technology captured everything except the one detail
investigators needed most: identity. And somewhere beyond the grainy darkness of that church footage, the answer still waits.